Okay, welcome to part two of doing a walk cycle. Like I said before, we've got our poles, 1, 12, 24, whatever, this is, so 12 is the midway, right? So whatever happens on this side has to happen on this side as well, but the other foot. So now let's um, talk about frame number 2 or 3. Um, I usually do 2, so we'll do that. This is foot clump frame. I don't know what it's actually called. I call it foot clump frame, where the front foot actually clumps down on the ground. Remember, you can't have that giant, you got to leave a bend in the knee, right? So you go clump. So everybody says this, right? Like a walk is a controlled fall. Move that up a little bit so I can keep the bend in it. Copy that frame, move over to the last frame. Didn't take it. It's the IK sometimes self-adjusts, which isn't bad, but it's not good either when you're doing micro stuff. There we go. Clup. And so this foot 2 on frame 13 also needs to clup. Clup, clup. So let's see what that looks like. Clup, 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 clup. I don't think that this green foot has an issue. As it comes back here. So what happened here? Did we lose this frame? There you go. Take this off, and now we can look at the walk. So I get the feeling, I mean, when you look at these things, you never really know how they're going to end up, unless you do it exactly the same. And I tend to mix it up a little bit depending on the character. So, but I get the feeling from her that she's always a little bit behind her weight, which means that my first and last and middle frames are a little bit off. So I'm going to move her a little bit forward. Copy. Select that. Oops, no, just the one. Thank you. Paste. And 12. Manually move up. So let's look at that. That's a lot better. So we're going to go into the graph editor and look at this and make sure that we have equal ups and downs and stuff. Well, let's look at this from the front first. So as Dana's walking here, she's not really, her weight is always on the straight line, and that wouldn't really happen. It might happen here when she's outstretched, but on the passing frame, this one, it wouldn't happen. So what we do is we move her over so her weight is now her hip, the middle line of her goes through the bottom foot. So she walks over there. And then if we do it on that side, guess what? We have to come over here and do it on this side. Right? And we can even, if we want to try and keep her upright, we can move her head so that the middle line goes through her eyes on each of them by rotating the hips. This one's a little better than the other one. Let's see. That's a pretty standard walk so far. One of the good things about doing a walk is that you can make a standard one. Like once you get the math going right, like it's here, here, it's here, and here, it's here when this happens, then you can go back and adjust how high it is, how far her stride is. If it's a sad walk, you can make it longer or shorter. You just need to build a base. It's like a foundational walk or a template walk or something. So that's what I'm kind of teaching you how to do. All right, so there's a couple things we can do. We need to fix this midsection because you can see when she walks, there seems to be some sort of a problem with it. Some sort of a problem. So there's two ways of fixing that. We can go into animation here, and with this part selected, we can come over here to visualize and create an editable motion trail. And there's our editable motion trail. And we can see that obviously one hip is going way higher than the other. So, and we can see what frame that is. That's on frame 6. This hip is high, or this hip is low, one of those two. This hip should be right here where this is. Oops. There we go. So now it's perfectly equal. This is just a visualization tool. It's like a spline that tells you where the object's moving. So as I move through this, it has the keys come up as red numbers, and so you can see what number you're on, and the lines show how she's moving. You can also, if you add keys in, for instance, right here, like if I wanted it to be a more rounder approach on the way down, I could hit a key. There it is. And then I can pull this forward and you can see it'll round out my line a little bit. And if we do it there on 9, right, which is 1, 2, 3 from the back, 1, 2, 3, so 24. I don't think that's right. Oh, it's here. It's coming back this way. There we go there. And we can take this and move it back and see you can kind of control the curve, the feel of the animation by moving these things around. So you want a really nice arc. And that's not bad. Can't do anything about the first and the last frame. But you can do, like I could take 12 is obviously lower than 24, so most likely what I should do is grab both of these and move them up a little tiny bit. Let's hope it doesn't crash. There's a lot of math going on here with this crazy model. Okay, we back up now, we can see that the walk cycle is working a little better. So there's another place, remember what I was saying, that we can check to see how the points are moving through space. Oh, we need to look at the front. Let's look at the front. Front's looking okay. A little bit of a weird dip there, but I think that's all right. Okay, so let's look at the graph editor. Now, the graph editor is a place where we can edit animations using a function curve graph. I believe I showed you that before early on in one of the, like opening the safe or the chest, whichever one you ended up doing. All right, let's see. If I go up here to Windows, Animation, Graph Editor, I drag that over here, and we can see here are the keys. They match these keys here, and here they are through space. So let's look at them one at a time. This is Translate X, and you can kind of see it's going good. What you want are equal waves, right? So if we put this on 12, this is the middle, and we can see that it comes down here and goes up here, and is pretty good as far as getting back and forth in the X. Let's look at the translation Y. It goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down. It's pretty darn equal in what it's doing. This is exactly how you want to see it. If you want to delete these, you probably get away with deleting these ones here. Let's see if this changes things that much. It does change things quite a bit. So let's not delete those. And translate why. Are they back? Oh, they didn't come back. Oh man, now we're in big trouble. So you can adjust these. They have these spinners here, and they allow you to um, move things. I'm going to get rid of this. The function curve thing is wonderful and all, but it is causing issues because it's in mathematically there below. I think at the very bottom it should be sitting there. God, there's a lot of stuff here. Then you can just delete the motion trail, and it doesn't delete the animation at all. The animation's still all there. The motion trail, all the work we did in the motion trail is still there. All right, so we would like to be able to adjust these, and right now these are we can just turn the moves a little bit like that. So you can see if I grab one of these things, turn it, it makes the curve sharper or rounder. And we, in fact, want to get these ones a little rounder. Remember, the ins and the outs, those bumps were there in the middle a little bit. Not too bad. All right. Let's go back and look at the function curve editor again. Windows Animation Editor, Graph Editor. And the Translate Z should be almost a straight line. It's not really. So Translate Z, right, is here. And we can see that it comes up to this point and then it goes down to this point. It comes up to this point, stays flat, and goes back. I think, what if we delete these? How does that look? Much smoother. So the more nice curves you can get going on here, right? It flows here and it comes again. So you have to think that this repeats. So you have to think about how this line travels into this one. And as it goes through here, will it come in into this one well? If it doesn't, then you'll get a pop. So let's look. That looks looking good. Probably delete that one. This is looking good. This is looking good. That's a pretty tight scenario. All right, let's look at rotation. Rotation's good. Ooh, we can get rid of that one for sure. And we can get rid of this one. The fewer keys you have, the better off you're going to be with how it looks. And this is the most important thing to get right, is the midpoint of the hips. If this moves right, then everything else will follow. First the hips, and then we got to make sure that the feet are all working good. Feet are looking pretty good to me. They seem to have a nice polarity. Once again, we can check, we can select this, and we can either do like a visualize. The feet are really good to use visualize on, actually. Yeah, we're all good there. And I'm sure if we were to go into the graph editor again, like Windows, Animation Editor, Graph Editor, and look at the translations. Oh, they're really weird looking. Don't look at them. They seem okay. These are a little harder to decipher because of they shouldn't be actual nice flows because of we have a foot clomp, right? Like a foot clomp, and we have a toe thing, and it comes up and it twists, and so you're not going to get the same kind of smoothness in your lines as you will with this. Okay, let's talk about the arms for a few minutes. One of they're doing okay. One thing you can add in here, if you're feeling it, is maybe some hand rotation. So I'm going to have to turn everything back on. I apologize. And we'll go to 12, right? And set a keyframe on that one and a keyframe on this one. These little rings here around the wrist control the wrist. And when this comes forward, we can have it kind of turn up like this. And as this goes back, we can have this rotate back like that. And then we have to switch them further back. So I can select both of those now here. Copy those, come over here to 24, paste. And so that's like hand movement. Not too bad. The other stuff you can kind of do. I mean, it all depends on the walk. We don't. I don't want to get into like it's a strong walk, it's a sad walk, it's a heavy walk. Um, um, we can on frame 6 we can initiate a little drag just to give the arm a little bit of life. So as it comes back, it doesn't come back all the way. Then on frame 18, we need to go the other way with it. Kind of a wispy walk. You see how that adds a little bit of flavor to the whole thing. Another thing I often do is the shoulders. So as the arm comes forward, what do we have? We need the midpoint shoulders stamped. So set a key there on that one. Set a key there on this one. These things that look like epaulets, those are shoulders. And so as she comes forward, I can rotate the shoulder forward. Copy that to the back here and paste it. And then here, I can rotate it back. And then here, I can rotate it forward, but I'm going to need to bring the arm back out a little bit on this one. And then here, I can rotate it back a little bit. Copy that. Paste it. And if you really want, we can also do that with this chest part. So it'll be here, and of course when you turn the head, and this one would be here. And you can start incorporating like little twists and stuff with the body. La la la. Wow, how does that not have any animation on it? S, S, S. So the more we dip into this, the more we're kind of getting into a specific walk sort of territory, like angry walk, happy walk, sad walk, which is an assignment I often will give my animation 2 students. Like, okay, do a walk. Or I might give that to you guys. We'll see what happens. So we want her leaning in with her head to the side of the shoulder that's going forward. and facing eyes front so she doesn't fall over when she walks. Okay, I've hammed it up a little bit. That's a pretty serviceable walk for her. I didn't do anything with the rotations in the middle here. I kept that pretty stiff. But by like arching her front and back and stuff, you can get a lot of differentiation. The stiffer a walk is, the more strong the person seems. The more loose and it is, the more kind of flourish and bounce and squash and stretch and stuff you put into it. The more, the weaker or rubber here the person's going to seem. But for our purposes, this isn't too bad. And let's look at what our keys look like. I'm going to once again go to selection set, quick selection set, stay in the controller. And you can see we did this whole walk in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 frames. And I probably could have added one here. I didn't really do much here. Oh, those are the arms. I didn't do the reverse arms. Cool. All right, that's part 2 of the walk.